What's up, everybody? This is Moose and Brian here from OccupyFantasy.com at OccupyFantasy on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and now TikTok, thanks to Brian. Again, I'm Moose. I'm going to be your host, co-founder, and data guru here at OccupyFantasy.com. At CFB underscore Moose on Twitter is where you can find me. I'm here with Brian, CEO and co-founder of Occupy Fantasy at Brian Jester FF on Twitter. How's it going, man?
What's up, Moose? Happy Friday, sir.
Happy Friday to you. And real quick, I do want to give a shout out to Dan. Dan just joined the membership program here on our YouTube channel, so he gets access to our Discord channel. Dan, occupyfantasy.com/discord is where you can get that information. Hope to see you in the Discord soon. So shout out to him. Brian, let's just jump right into this. We're going to be here talking about the Week 3 slate, Friday edition. And are we getting a postponement?
I don't know, man. We're monitoring, right? This is really crazy. I mean, we've seen preseason games postponed before, right? Remember the Hall of Fame game? We were all anticipating it a few years ago, and that got canceled because of field issues. And we might see the same tonight with this Jets and the Eagles game. There was basically a monsoon before the game, before pregame warmups, and the rain has mostly subsided, but there's weird shit going on with the field. There's puddles and like pitcher mound looking things on the field. So I don't know. Very much in jeopardy, and something we have to monitor here over the next hour.
Yeah. Now, regular season game, I'd say, oh, they could probably just move it back a couple hours, figure it out, move it to tomorrow. So, I mean, do you think that even like a delay would be possible?
I think so. And so Jimmy Kimsky, one of their top reporters for the Eagles, just said the rain has stopped and the mounds seem to have deflated, which I don't even like. That's not a sentence I've ever heard in my life. So maybe they're fine. We're going to
Yeah.
monitor. Again, be agile. I mean, the key here, Moose, is as we get more people into the show, for the last week of preseason, you have to be at your computer before lock
Hmm.
because not just for apparent field issues, but also a lot of teams are resting players and they don't make that well known before the game starts, or at least leading up to the game. But then we get a ton of news in the hour before each game locks, and that's how we get the major edges. So
Absolutely.
be agile tonight.
Absolutely. What's up, Adam? He said, "What's good? What's good? Occupy Fantasy Family." What's up, Brian? He says, "Let's go, boys. Need a win tonight after missing out on all the DK Osaka NFTs so far today." Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't know about you, man, but I have not been able to get any of those NFTs.
I haven't either. I had one chance on the very first one and I blew it. So
Rip.
they have not rewarded me with, with another high Q spot since.
Yeah. Ed says, "What's up? Oh, pulling out of that game, that Philly Jets game. I think we have time, Brian. You can always still change your lineup past. Thankfully, it's one of the earlier games, the 7:30 game. So if you want to, you can still change to the later games if you wanted to, the Pitt or the Minnesota game.
Yeah, exactly. So we have one game starts at 7. That's Indy and Detroit. Then we have two games at 7:30 and one game at 8. So yeah, it's possible this slate locks and we don't know the final answer on this. But again, if you're around, you can always make swaps. And to be fair, most we don't have a ton of players from this game in our
Hmm.
top plays. We do have one really good play in this game, but nothing we can't recover from. And ideally for us, it gets canceled closer to lock, and then we get a bunch of dead ownership, which it's actually the ideal situation for us.
Okay, makes sense to me. Cool. So again, we're here to about 6:30 or so, 6:20, depending on how lit this chat is. Ask your questions here. We'll be here till then, answering your questions. What you see on the left side of your screen here is the Occupy Fantasy Daily Plug, the DFS picks, rankings, and playing time notes for all teams on the slate tonight. Top plays with the description on why, high risk, low risk plays. And Brian, I think if I recall, this is one of our higher bankroll recommendations that we've made this preseason.
Yeah, normally we recommend 1 to 2% because we've gotten a lot of stupid small slates, and as a result, we've asked or recommended people to lower their bankroll allocations. On the larger slates, we recommend it more. Tonight is kind of a sweet spot for four games, and you're going to see with no super small slates this week, and it being the final week and the edges pre-lock that are sure to come. We'll see probably the highest allocations on a slate to slate basis than we've seen, the first 2 weeks of preseason.
Cool, cool. And then I don't actually know which games there are. I'm checking now on DraftKings. I see you've made a note as well that for the in-game showdown, again, looks like it's just the Minnesota Kansas City game. So the second half and the fourth quarter, definitely focus on that, especially if you're in a smaller bankroll. It's not flooded with a lot of pros because the contest prizes aren't that big. So yeah, so just keep a track. If you want to print it out or Excel spreadsheet, whatever, take our notes from that game and then just cross off the players that aren't playing anymore, and then just pick the ones that are scheduled to play, and you're pretty much good as golden.
Yeah, exactly. Just follow, because especially the team by team notes, right? Follow who's played and who's not, and yeah, good call, Moose. And yeah, we're just we're monitoring the situation right now. Lots to check in, check out. Nothing yet. We're still an hour before lock. We're waiting for any Indy and Detroit news. Carolina's beat reporter just confirmed that Sam Darnold and the starters will play a half outside of Christian McCaffrey, who's not going to play. That's something we expected. The Carolina's coach Moose was he kept saying up to a half, but he wouldn't. Anytime someone said a half, he wouldn't like fully confirm it. So to me, that was a little sketchy, right? They could definitely play less than a half, but everyone keeps saying up to a half. But yeah, I mean, we'll get DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson, Terrace Marshall, Sam Darnold for at least a quarter, probably more, and on a smaller slate with a bunch of backups playing. That's a pretty good situation.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, that can definitely be one of the top stacks there. Nigel says the pit stack with Haskins playing a larger amount of time and a low amount of wide receivers available. What's your thoughts on that on a Haskins stack?
Yeah, I like Haskins a lot, right? So it's just Mason Rudolph and Ben Roethlisberger are going to sit tonight. It's just Haskins and Josh Dobbs. The way that Mike Tomlin phrased it in his pressers, he kept saying he wants to see more of Haskins, which leads us to believe he'll play more than a half, which is why he's our top quarterback. A little spoiler there. And he has a bunch of guys he can throw to that we expect to see time tonight. Anthony Johnson, Ray McLeod, Rico Bussey, Cody White, the rookie Pat Freiermuth, the tight end potentially. So it's kind of tough, right? If you're playing low-risk contests, just play Haskins and don't worry about trying to get one of those receivers right. I think that's the best approach. If you're playing high-risk contests, pick one you like. We have them ranked how we like them in the high-risk section of the plug. But you can also make your own determination because it's not any clear-cut answer, Moose, right? It's 4 different guys out there running. We've seen it before. We can predict playing time. We can't predict production in preseason. So read the notes, see who you like the most, and pair them up with Haskins. In high-risk contests, definitely pair them up with one of those guys.
Yeah, you pretty much hit that on the head there. Question here from St. Louis the Kid: White or Johnson with Haskins? And I kind of answered. You kind of answered it just there.
Yeah, I like White at lower ownership. He saw 7 targets last week, and I think a lot of people are going to play Johnson instead because he's caught a touchdown this preseason with Haskins. To me, and again, it's not like we need crazy pivots in preseason, but we'll get White at significantly lower ownership.
Yeah, I know Anthony Johnson had 86 air yards last week. So if somehow if people are looking at air yards, they might like box score watching air yards. They might pick him for a little bit more ownership.
Yeah, I mean, we got a bunch of guys on this weekend, Moose, that we saw a bunch of air yards last week, right? Wasn't Shi Smith up there second in the league in air yards for Carolina last week, I think?
Yeah, wasn't it something? I think he had 105. Was it 108? 108 last week, which is just nuts in a preseason game.
Yeah, and he's expected to play close to a full half tonight in the second half against backups. So yeah, Shi Smith if you're looking for low-owned tournament play.
Yeah, great play right there. Again, shout out to everyone at Occupy, mainly me. That got together the air yards data.
Shout out to everyone, mostly just myself.
Yeah, so again, you can check it out at occupyfantasy.com. You have all the air yards, snap counts, snap percentages, opportunities for all the preseason games dating back to 2018. Fantastic resource to see former trends and some stats on this year, how players have been doing. Quincy says, is James Washington playing?
We don't expect him to play much. He's been playing with Mason Rudolph, and if the starters play with Roethlisberger in the preseason, we don't expect him to play much. He's a veteran. They're looking at guys who are on the roster bubble tonight. That's how they're playing it. Typical preseason week 4s. Typical preseason week 4 of years past for Tomlin. He's outright said that, which means we shouldn't see a ton of James Washington tonight. Maybe he does play, and maybe he plays some with Haskins. But those other guys we mentioned for Pittsburgh are at least going to play a half of football.
Yeah, works for me. Wiggs says, how much of the KC starters do you think we should roster?
Last week I trusted Andy Reid. They keep saying a half tonight. I don't trust it. I think we see closer to a quarter for the starters. So, and that's just the Reid kind of spidey senses again. If we get more word that he's definitely playing a half, then yeah, obviously they jump the top plays. I think their receivers are a little safer because they did play without Mahomes. Once Mahomes left the game, they stayed in the game last week. So guys like Pringle and Hardman, Robinson, Tyreek, if he plays, I don't know, probably not Tyreek because he's dealing with a hamstring. But those other three guys are probably safer than Mahomes.
Okay, works for me. Let's see here. Any news that you found so far, Brian? I know I don't have the staff chat up that where they're sharing research notes, but is there anything that's popping up? Oh, Brian, you there? Oh no, Brian, can you hear me? Well, all right. Technical difficulty. We will be right back.
Booze, I'm back. Sorry about that. I don't know if you can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you now. So let me go ahead and let's go switch back to scenes. And I put it on a little. I told the crowd to just wait for a little bit, switch scenes. Now we're back. So again, sorry for that interruption. There are some storms going on, and I know my power's been cutting out. Brian, I'm sure I guess your internet's just been cutting out as well. Let's see here. So, Dop S,
Yeah,
we think
my
the Vikings offense.
Internet's being sketchy.
Yeah, I know there's actually some streamers that have backup internets. Like, you know how people have like backup generators? Oh God, Brian, are you there?
Yeah, we'll clearly need that.
Yeah, definitely. All right, Dot Best, do we think the Vikings offense finally scored a touchdown this preseason?
No. No, they probably get one in tonight somewhere. I don't know if it's going to be the starting unit, but they'll get one in at some point.
Definitely. Cool,
Hopefully
cool.
AJ Rose.
Cool. So, awesome. So what I was saying before you decided to leave us voluntarily, has there been any notes that's been popping up? Any news that's been breaking since we started?
So we just got this note. Mike Tomlin said Chase Claypool, James Washington, and Ray McLeod will play tonight with Haskins. They were not expected to play. Well, at least Claypool and Washington weren't expected to play. This is interesting. This is something we have to figure out what's going on, because if they play the entire time with Haskins, obviously they become the immediately top plays, especially Claypool and Washington. I don't think they play the whole time with Haskins, especially since they're going to play the entire game. Let's think about this. This is interesting. This is very interesting.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm trying to think. So, what's your first initial thought? Maybe like a half.
I think they play just a quarter, to be honest, right? I mean, why are they playing Claypool in the last preseason game? Washington, maybe like they want to get his trade value up. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
McLeod was always expected to play, but Claypool's the one that really doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, that's very weird. All right, I'll just put you on the spot here. Do you think that makes him a top play tonight?
I think Washington more than anything. We should probably add Washington.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so again, the plug gets updated in real time as news breaks, as playing time notes get announced. We're updating the plug, occupyfantasy.com, where you can check that out. Membership starts as low as $7 a week. And when you join, do get access to our Discord, occupyfantasy.com/Discord. We're also breaking down the second half and fourth quarter slates. I know one of our members, Hey Sports Fans, so profitable, he pretty much quit his job because of second half and fourth quarter slowdown slates. So, cool. All right, so 4 more minutes before we get up out of here. If you have any last lingering questions, now is the time to ask. If not, if you do have Discord access, we will be answering questions in Discord as well. Awesome. So Brian, let me ask you this question then. Anything that we're hoping to hear from? Is there anything, even for like this upcoming games, or something that we should be looking for?
Honestly, not much in Indy and Detroit. I don't think anything that we will know. I guess for Indy, I'm curious to see if the starting running backs play.
Okay.
Because they're not going to play their starters, right? So Jonathan Taylor's not going to play, but they still have Naeem Hines, they still have Marlon Mack, and they still have Jordan Wilkins, who are basically the running back locks on the team. I mean, why would they play any of those guys when they still have two, three other guys on the team that can run the ball? Because if all those guys are out, that leaves Deion Jackson, that leaves Benny LeMay as the guys who benefit a ton. So we need to get word on that because that's pretty big from a running back standpoint. And then again, I really want information on these Pittsburgh receiver situation because it doesn't add up with what they're saying and what they're doing. So yeah, I don't know. Thankfully, we have 45 minutes until lock.
Yeah, that's a good thing. Hopefully that we get some information here soon, and hopefully we can figure that out. So let's see. Any last lingering questions? I guess not. We'll stay here for another minute left or so. If not, Brian? Is there anything we missed or anything you want to add?
Again, the slate is crazy already. So stay agile. Keep monitoring. Refresh the plug. The updates are in blue. We'll try to post anything in Discord as well. We'll tweet anything that's relevant. But yeah, we're just trying to process this live as all this is happening. And sometimes it takes a few minutes to confirm situations, to analyze, to lean on our experience for what this means for preseason slates. So yeah, keep checking the plug in Discord and our Twitter as we find these nuggets and update.
Okay, definitely perfect. Yeah, you pretty much hit that on the head here. So until next time, let's see some screenshots tonight. Again, we do have our Occupy screenshot challenge that you can learn more information about in our Discord or on our Twitter. But until next time, Moose and Brian here from OccupyFantasy.com.